Okay, tapes are now on. Time is 17:19 hours. That's 5:19 p.m. The date is the 5th of March 2019, and we are in the voluntary attendee suite at Southwick Police Station in Sunderland. First things first, are you happy for me to call you Len? Which
yes.
First, louder?
Yes, right.
17:19, take this 5th. Okay, a couple of things, Len. Obviously, the tapes are now up and running, as you can see on the machine. Record lights on. Obviously, what's being said or not said is a matter of record for the purpose of our investigation. There is one police officer only present in the room. That's myself, DC 3045 Reeves. I'm currently attached to the CID at Southwick Police Station in Sunderland. We are in an interview room at Southwick Police Station, but as stated previously, we are in the VA suite at present. I'm interviewing. Len, can you please state your full name, your date of birth and current address, please?
Leonard Lowther.
Yeah.
1st of the 2nd, 55. 2 Walker Pier Cottages, Marine Walk. Postcode is SR60PL.
0PL. Okay. Len has legal representation present, and that is?
Yeah, my name is Mr. Greg Flux, and as you said, Mr. Lyle was solicitor today on behalf of Joel Armstrong Solicitors.
Okay. That's the Sunderland office, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Len, I need to remind you have the right to free and independent legal advice. You can speak to a solicitor in private any time of day or night, and this legal advice is free. You can speak to a solicitor in person. If you do not want to speak to a solicitor in person, you can speak to one on the telephone. If you do not want legal advice, then the interview can be delayed unless certain exceptions apply. Obviously, you've spoken there to Mr. Flax, and you've had obviously an opportunity for consultation. Probably the main takeaway from this is obviously you can speak to Mr. Flaxon again if you want after, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour. Yeah. If you need to speak to him again, let me know, and obviously I can pop out of the room, and etc. Okay. Are you happy with the advice you've had so far?
Yes.
Right. Obviously, during the course of the interview, I might be writing things down and making notes. I'm not being rude if I'm not looking at you.
Right.
I'll try and make eye contact. It's just I don't know what you're going to say, so I might have to scribble things down in terms of organising my thoughts, basically. In terms of the circumstances around you being here today, obviously back in it was the 20th of September last year, you were arrested in respect to alleged harassment. Obviously on that occasion you were arrested. On this occasion we've asked you to attend on a voluntary basis so that further questions may be put to you. So you're no longer arrested, it's important you understand that, you're not obliged to remain. On occasions, when people attend on a voluntary basis, the necessity for their arrest does emerge. Okay? Mm-hmm. So it's to make you aware of that. The example I always give people is, if for example someone attends on a voluntary basis, they might say, well, you can verify all this by speaking to Tommy Smith down the road. Now, circumstances might emerge there that if we're going to still speak to Tommy Smith straight away, you might have a chance to speak to Tommy Smith. That might be one scenario, and then there might be a lot more to it than that, but that might generate necessity. Similarly, necessity for a house search, for example, might emerge. So it's just to give you an understanding of the situation, right? But you are here on a voluntary basis, you're not under arrest.
Yes.
However, I do still need to caution you, and you don't have to say anything that may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something which you later rely on in court. Anything you may say may be given as evidence. I appreciate you being interviewed about this matter before already, but I'm going to cover basically an explanation of that again. 3 component parts to it. I can't make you answer my questions. You are well within your rights to no reply or no comment or sit in silence. All I would ask is that if you do plan to not answer the questions, you just say no reply, no comment. That way I know you've heard it.
Yeah.
You're not taking age to think, and I know to move on.
Yeah.
Secondly, however, if you choose not to answer the questions put to you, a court may draw an inference from it.
Yeah.
They may think, well, that question or that information you're volunteering now on trial day, if that had been mentioned way back when you were in police custody or attending on a voluntary basis, you know, why didn't you mention it back then? You know, we're hearing it for the first time at trial. You didn't mention it first time round. Why is that? And they might not add as much weight to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Similarly, if what you say now changes dramatically to what's said at a later stage, the question always is, well, which one do we actually believe if there's a different version of events? Anything you may say may be given in evidence.
Yeah.
Obviously, what we, obviously the tapes are running, I'm making notes, we're recording the matter, and it can be used as part of this investigation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Have you got any questions about it at all?
No, none at all.
Right. Okay. In terms of what you're here, we're looking at conduct that occurred following your release from custody on the 20th of September last year. Okay.
Yes.
Now, Ms. Elliott states that she, to her Twitter account, received several tweets from you following being released from custody here. Did you contact Ms. Elliott via Twitter?
Obviously, well, I've prepared a statement, which I think we'll probably read now.
Yeah.
My name is, obviously just say it if I go too fast. My name is Leonard Lowther, born the 1st of February 1955, and I made this statement of my own free will to be read and interviewed by my solicitor, Mr. Greg Flaxon, and wish to say the following. I have been interviewed several times in relation to my political views and have so far received no further action on each occasion. On one occasion I have attended, refused to be interviewed due to the lack of evidence and still received no further action. It's for this reason I believe I'm being harassed by Northumbria Police. I believe my human rights are being affected, specifically in relation to Articles 9, 10 and 14. I understand that I'm being interviewed for an offence of harassment, which I have already been interviewed for in September 2018. This relates to my local MP, Miss or Mrs. we didn't know, Julie Elliott. After being interviewed, I was released from the police station under investigation. I was not subject to any bail conditions at this time. I wish to make clear my tweets in relation to Julie Elliott are political and as a Member of Parliament is open to public criticism. I've never intended to scare, threaten or intimidate Julie Elliott MP and do not condone any violence used towards political figures. I hold an honest belief that there is corruption taking place between Julie Elliott MP and the Chief Constable or Police Crime Commissioner Vera Baird, and arresting me and seizing my computers is an attempt to silence my views. In my previous interview I was asked if I was trolling Julie Elliott. Did I hate her? This is an attempt by Northumbria Police to aggravate any offence as a hate crime. I wish to state that I've never posted any content on social media which I believe to be racist, sexist, homophobic or offensive to a protected group. During my previous interview I've been questioned regarding an image of a local council dressed in a Nazi uniform. Previously mentioned, I've had my computer seized to locate this image. I have since provided the police with the information they required to show the origin of the image, but have yet to have my property returned. I now formally request all items are returned. I understand the person who created the image has not been arrested or interviewed by the police, and this appears to be unfair and further adds to my belief that my arrest was simply a cloak to cover seizing my computers. On several occasions, Ian McCready has highlighted a fake document believed to be passed to police by Julie Elliott's office. This document alleged Ian McCready posted a threatening message. Again, I believe this to be unfair and evidence the impartiality of Northumbria Police. I wish to make it clear to officers, I will not be answering any political questions. I have attended in relation to an offence of harassment with or without fear. I deny the offence completely. I accept tweeting political statements to Julie Elliott MP and several others in the same tweet, and understand Julie Elliott MP is the only one who has complained. Officers wish to question me in relation to leaflets which has been posted in the addresses in Rokerford and Seaburn area, but have yet to produce any evidence which shows my involvement. I've attended Southwick Police Station voluntarily I will not be answering any further questions in interview and will now exercise my right to silence for the full interview. And obviously it's not signed and dated. Len, for the purpose of the table, you explain that you agree with that statement?
Yes, I agree with that.
Yes. Okay.
We'll sign
Yep. Right. Officer Brilliant.
Okay. Mr. Lowell, that covers a number of potential questions I do have. I do have further questions. I appreciate you saying you're not inclined to answer them. That's fine, but I need to put them to you.
Right.
Okay. Of particular interest to the police are tweets that were sent following your release from Salford Police Station on the 20th of September last year. So after being arrested for the harassment of Julie Elliott, as you mentioned in your statement. The benefit take, I'm showing Mr. Lowell that exhibit DR17 and specifically at the moment item 14. Len, this is a message, a tweet we believe you sent from your Twitter account, Len Lowther27, to Julie Elliott, and she uses the Twitter account at Julie Elliott MP. We believe that was sent on the 21st of September. Can you see that in terms of the...
No comment.
Okay. Did you send that tweet?
No comment.
Do you accept that that is your Twitter handle, Len Lowther27?
No comment.
Okay. Are you able to deny that?
No comment.
Because that's quite intrinsic to the inquiry. If it's not your Twitter account, it's probably worth you saying that and we know to go elsewhere.
No comment.
Okay. My working assumption is because obviously it's Len Lowther, it's Len Lowther27, and because you've talked about Ian McCready and having issues surrounding corruption, etc., on the behalf of Ms. Elliott amongst others, that's you who sent that tweet.
No comment.
Is my assumption wrong?
No comment.
Okay. Further tweets, this is item 15 on DR17. This was sent on September 23rd last year, 2018. It says, police harassment, all are complicit in orchestrating my arrest and confiscating my computer on this fourth attempt to prosecute me. Political questions during the interview. Len, did you send that tweet?
No comment.
Are you open to deny sending that tweet?
No comment.
Item 16. So item 16, part of DR17. Again, similar format. It looks like a tweet sent from Len Lowther27 to at Julie Elliott MP, so her Twitter account. It would appear that the paperwork that is generally given to people when they're released from police custody under investigation, it would appear that you or someone has taken a picture of that and then sent it to Julie Elliott.
No comment.
Is that the case?
No comment.
Are you able to deny that being the case?
No comment.
Then, when you were released from custody, did the sergeant explain to you the potential risks of contacting people who have made a complaint against you?
No comment.
Because this paperwork, and I'm assuming it's your document and that you've at least read it because you seem to have tweeted it, it does cover offences of, I think harassment's mentioned there, I believe witness intimidation might be discussed. Generally speaking, that document advises you it's a bad idea to contact people who've made a complaint against you.
No comment.
Do you accept that's what it says?
No comment.
Is that your document?
No comment.
Would you agree then that sending messages to someone who's made a complaint with the police about you sending messages to them was not the best idea?
No comment.
Because in our position, I appreciate you denying harassment, that seems to be further example of you harassing Julie Elliott, local MP.
No comment.
Item 17, again, exhibit DR17. Again, similar format, tweet sent from Len Lowther27 to Julie Elliott MP, and effectively has a picture saying stop looking, and there's advice about blocking people on Twitter. Did you send that to Julie Elliott?
No comment.
Do you see there's a slight contradiction in the sense that although you're advising her not to listen to you, you are still sending her material?
No comment.
Okay, there are other tweets which I believe you've sent, but this is one that we'd like to ask you about. 2nd of October 2018, this was sent to a large number of recipients, again from Len Lowther to Julie Elliott MP. It seems to be a list of some of the questions you were asked in an interview. Len, did you send that to Ms Elliott?
No comment.
Can you deny sending it?
No comment.
I mean, what shook me, I mean, obviously I interviewed you, so I remember what I asked you. That is pretty much what you were asked.
No comment.
Now, I know obviously you've been interviewed twice and you've never at any point said, yeah, I am Len Lowther 27. It's our working assumption that you are. You've never denied being that individual, but given your knowledge of the interview and what was asked, it seems to me that you are definitely this person.
No comment.
Is that correct?
No comment.
Again, then, in terms of, I appreciate, you obviously don't feel you've committed an offence, and then I've heard your prepared statement. Do you understand, though, that obviously a complaint was made to the police about harassment, which in simple terms is unwanted contact? Do you understand that if you keep contacting that same person, arguably it adds to the strength of the case against you?
No comment.
Was there any good reason, if you like, you had to send these to Miss Elliott?
No comment.
Why did you do it then?
No comment.
Nothing more on the tweets. I'm going to show you Exhibit JE5. Len, this is a copy of leaflets which were distributed in the Sunderland area, we believe, September, October 2018, so around about the time you were arrested. At the bottom of JE5, the reverse of the leaflet, it says, printed and promoted by Len Lowther of 40 Cairngorm Avenue, Washington, NE38 0QW. Len, what can you tell me about these leaflets?
No comment.
Did you have these printed?
No comment.
Were you involved in distributing them?
No comment.
How were you connected to them?
No comment.
Because it does say printed and promoted by Len Lowther.
No comment.
Is this a different Len Lowther?
No comment.
Because leaflets of a similar appearance sometimes appear on your social media posts as well.
No comment.
Are you able to deny knowing anything about this?
No comment.
The reason why I mention it again is that you again raise issues around Julie Elliott, her family, and issues around them being corrupt, if you like.
No comment.
Did you write this leaflet?
No comment.
What's your role been in this leaflet then?
No comment.
You mentioned in your prepared statement about Ian McCready and believing a fake document was posted. I would just like to show you Exhibit DR16. Effectively, this is something that was posted on one of your Facebook pages back in March 2018. It looks to be a letter written to Ian McCready from Sarah Pitt, who was then and still is now Temporary Chief Superintendent of Southern Area Command. So she has geographical responsibility for the area where we are. During this, she outlines quite clearly that basically it was police errors in the investigation that led to the case collapsing against Ian McCready. Did you post that letter?
No comment.
Is that been posted to Julie?
No, sorry. It was the reason why I bring it up is I'm just looking to understand this issue with Ian McCready and why then just contacting Miss Elliott about it on the basis that obviously he's viewed a letter from the police saying it was effectively the police messed it up. It was an issue with how we process social media evidence, and that's why it was collapsed. It doesn't mention obviously Julie Elliott, fake evidence and stuff like that. I take it you've seen that letter before then because you posted it on your Facebook.
No comment.
So it says quite clearly, Len Lowther shared Ian McCready's post. So I assume you've read it if you shared. A bit of an assumption, but it's a logical one.
10th of March.
Sorry, yeah. So 10th of March.
Just because it says obviously yesterday. So 10th of March.
Yeah. Sorry. It appears. Sorry, the letter is. Sorry, Mr.
That's my fault.
Letters dated 8th of March. It appears on Facebook
on the
10th.
Right.
I appreciate the way the way Facebook words stuff's.
All I was going to say then, because obviously the 10th of March doesn't cover the harassment period. She's not included in it.
Mm-hmm.
She's not mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say that why you would be questioned in the interview about it.
Okay. The logic behind that is, on Obviously, Mr. Lowther has highlighted he's got political differences with Ms. Elliott, and that's understandable. Obviously, she's a politician, she's there to be scrutinised. Our argument, appreciate it, our argument, police argument, is that the repeated allegations around corruption are without foundation. Okay. Now, obviously, Mr. Lowther's been interviewed. I appreciate he's given prepared statements too now. Obviously, we're not being able to scrutinise why he believes this to be a legitimate thing to throw at Ms. Elliott. Now, my argument is if Len has had witness of official police letters saying, look, it was a police error, and that I believe there are other comments he's made on other social media posts showing that he acknowledges bits and pieces of that, I'm just trying to understand why he still maintains this argument. If you've seen evidence to the contrary, if you
I
will.
think there was strain here, detective, because my client's interviewed for an offence of harassment.
Yeah.
You're trying to obtain why he has certain views. That isn't the offence. He's getting investigated for contacting, obviously, Julie Elliott MP from September onwards, and now a question about political posts made in March.
Yeah.
Which is my point, officer. This is why I spoke, officer, before the interview. This is why I didn't want Mr. Lowther to sit down and continue to be interviewed, because again, we see an interview as an opportunity to question him about broader stuff. We have to keep the caution. He's cautioned for harassment.
Yeah.
He's questioned about harassment. We can't go outside of that. Yes, police will be curious, and police will want to know why he's chomping at the bit and why he's keep going on when he's saying this.
Yeah.
But it's got nothing to do with harassment.
Right.
And I see where you come from. Len, my advice now is, I think we're done. Unfortunately, detective, if we're going to stray like this, unless you've got any further questions, that's it.
Okay.
Cut
I
short.
have a couple of further questions.
Can I say I believe it's going down the political route once again,
Okay.
and I will end the interview right now, because I believe strongly that the police are acting as political watchdogs for the
Right.
Labour Party.
I have one further question that does not relate to this. You are within your rights to leave. Obviously, I'd like to ask it.
I'm just asking them.
Okay. Len, my understanding is your Facebook accounts have been shut down. You've been effectively kicked off Facebook.
No comment.
Okay, is that true?
No comment.
Are you able to deny that being the case?
No comment.
Right. Len, I don't have any more questions. You've made it clear you deny the offence of harassment. We've made it clear we believe this to be further exams of harassment. Obviously, you've been interviewed on 2 occasions. Now, you're yet to engage with our questions. However, you may have material you do want to volunteer. Is there anything else you would like to say? No. Okay. Mr. Fax, anything you'd like to add? Or
No, thank you.
right. Okay. Based on that, time is 17:42 hours. Interview terminated at that point.